This is the iconic main theme of The Legend of Zelda, originally composed by Koji Kondo in 1986. Variations of it occur in many of the different installments of the series. However, I would highly recommend the Hyrule Symphony version, arranged by Ryuichi Katsumata and released in 1999. This song is the quintessential fantasy adventure theme song, and instantly transports the player back to memories of riding through Hyrule Field and watching the landscape emerge and transform around you. The theme rises and expands as the world of Zelda does, from village to forest to field to mountain, gaining strength and resolve as the player does. It is the call to adventure and the promise of an entire world to explore and mythic events to fill it with. Technically, I've heard the theme described as a very pastoral song, in the sense that there's a looseness or even a laziness to its metric, rather than a rigid pattern. Pastoral music is especially evident in the early sections of the game, when Link is in his home village, which is generally scored by woodwind instruments, or the twinkling notes that usher in a sunrise. Supposedly, the Zelda series shares a deep affinity with pastoral art, evoking a yearning for natural living and rural community. This is reflected in the player's relationship with nature throughout the series, such as the necessity to forage and explore the land and communicate and cooperate with various animals. This musical piece unites the naturalistic aesthetics of the game with the epic quest conflict which drives the narrative, giving meaning and connection to the many different places and peoples you encounter in your travels. The malleability of the theme gives it a folkloric quality, as though it is the same story being performed over and over again in different ways to different people. All Zelda games essentially contain the same key ingredients, but the story is continually remixed and reinterpreted with each installment. The virtuous pastoral themes of the series also provide juxtaposition with the more sinister and disharmonious themes Link encounters in the dungeons he explores, which represent a sort of disturbance or corruption of the natural world. Zelda, like fantasy literature in general, imagines a mythical realm that is disappearing or has disappeared, a concept reflected in the melancholic tones of games like Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and especially Majora's Mask, which recasts Link as a lost soul, continually trying to return to Hyrule. But at a more intimate level, the theme evokes the player's yearning for the innocence and wonder of childhood, and their ambivalence about growing up and losing touch with the imaginary realm. The Legend of Zelda is, to quote George R. R. Martin's Ode to Fantasy, alive as dreams are alive, more real than real.